Alright, I wanted to show everybody my latest pistol, and this gun is distributed by Cybergun. Anyways, it's a Sig Sauer X-Five, so P226 copy, and it's licensed, as you can see here. This is the box that it comes with. It is. It says 300 feet per second here, but I just went outside and played around with it for a bit, and I'd say it shoots a little harder. It's also advertised online as being a little more than that, closer to 350. I'd have to agree with that. I was able to get, now it's a 66 yards, power range. That's, essentially how far they assume it'll go. It's dangerous. It says 18 BBs. I was able to get about 20 BBs into it, no problem. Although I'll talk a little bit more about that later. 2.5 pounds. This is a very heavy pistol. It's a very big pistol. It's almost 9 inches long. So anyways, let's take a look at it. Now it's a blowback weapon. It's CO2 powered, and it shoots 4.5 millimeter or .177 caliber BBs. It's styled closer to what an airsoft gun would be styled after, so not like your typical blowback BB gun. Let's take a look at it. So this is essentially what it comes in. It comes in this nice styrofoam box. Got a few things, some steel BBs. It comes with the magazine. You can get extra magazines as well for this. The magazine is really heavy. It actually feels like a magazine out of an actual SIG. And here's a real SIG magazine for a compact version of a SIG. You can see it's very similar in the design. Very similar in the design. Let's take a look at the gun. It also comes with an extra piece, so just in case you lose one of these retainers for your CO2, so the CO2 goes in the actual magazine, the BBs load in here. Let's take a look at the gun. Okay, I want to show you really quickly how close this thing is to the real steel. So this is the gun here. You can see it cocks back. And you can see here, you can even see right through the magazine area. It's all the parts. It's field strips pretty much identically to the real gun. So you've got the lock here, trigger lock. It's pretty stiff. I haven't worked it in. Right. Then this is the magazine release here. This would be your slide release, and this would be your disassembly lever here, which maybe we'll show you in a bit. But here is a real, well, it's not a real SIG, but it's an Arinco SIG copy, and it's of a shorter version, a 228 version. And you can see it's very, I'm not going to show you my serial number, obviously, but you can see it's very similar, the way everything works. And this one I safety checked it. You can see very similar, and I've safety checked this gun. See, there's no rounds in the chamber, there's no magazine in it. It has a decocking lever, a little bit different. This one has a decocking lever, different style. But this is a real SIG 9mm, and it's my personal one, and it shoots amazing. I love it. You may have noticed the barrel comes out the end here. That's to abide by our Canadian regulations, which requires us to have, I think, about a 4.25 inch barrel. So the barrel has to come out a little bit so that it's non-prohibited here in Canada. Anyways, let's take a little bit closer look at this. I'm going to try and take it apart for you. So you basically slide it around, and then I believe you have to. It's a little bit difficult. There you go. And you can see here, this gun field strips literally like the real gun. Now see here, this piece has to come back. And so you have all the different pieces like you would in a real automatic weapon. Very cool. Now, hopefully I can get it back together just as easy. This is a little tricky here. Get that lined up. Good. There we are. It just goes in like that. These SIGs are actually really easy to field strip, which makes it nice. There you go. And it's back together. Let's take a look at this a little closer. So here's the gun. It's very weighty. It's a very big gun. Right, you can see how it all works in there. Right, there's the magazine. And to load it, I'll just grab a few BBs here. I'm just going to put a few in here just to show you. But you may complain because you have to kind of do these one at a time. And they're rolling all over the place. But essentially you just pop them in here. Then you pop the next one in. I wish I had fingernails. And you know, some of you might complain about this, that you know, it takes a little while, but if you've actually loaded a real 9mm, these magazines can get really tight at the end. They are not fun to load, and you know, getting well, in Canada we can only have 10 rounds, but if you have a higher capacity mag, trying to load those things up to their high capacity is really difficult in these double stack magazines. So this is really quite easy to load. And while I was shooting it, I found that when you get closer to the end, so when you're getting closer to the, say, your 18, 19, 20th shot, I almost found that the gun started to get a little cold, so it didn't seem to cycle quite as well. It really cycles amazing the first 10 shots or so, like just amazing. It just has lots of kick. It feels great. It's got a lot of power. You know, the BBs are really hauling out of there. Once you start to get past 15, 16, I notice it's cycling a little bit slower, and you know, a little bit of a drop off in power because the magazine's you know, getting cold. So you know, really, if you're going to shoot this like what I'm used to shooting 10 rounds at a time anyways. There's no harm in just loading 10 or 15 rounds in here and shooting, and then taking it out, taking your time, reloading. By the time you load up another 10, 15 rounds, this is in your hand, it's warmed up, it starts again, it cycles really well again. So it's, you know, it's a good way to do it. That's what I'd recommend, is just do, you know, say throw 15 in here, shoot them off. You'll have very consistent shooting. You won't notice as much of a drop off. It'll cycle well through all of them. That's what I'd recommend. It's totally fun. It shoots well. Like I said, you can really feel it working in your hand. It cycles really nice. It's the closest thing you can come to having the real firearm without having to get a license and go to a range and spend a lot of money on ammunition. You can shoot this in your backyard. Again, like the H&K MP5 that I reviewed. Don't walk around with holding this, or you'll get some weird looks and possibly have the police after you. But I'd highly recommend this gun. I paid about $140 for it. I'm just trying to remember the website that I got it from, but maybe I'll put a URL on the screen for you so you can see where I got it from. And anyways, that's the end of this review, and I'll be doing a field test on this gun shortly, so please come back and check that out when you get a chance. Take care.